What is up, guys? We got a very quick and simple install video for you today. Today we're going to be installing the MXP Comp RS for the WRX VA. So we're upgrading the entire catback system for this car. It should be a breeze. I guess we'll just start off quickly with the tools you'll need. So we have a 14mm, a 12mm. Those are spanners, by the way. I've got my trusty breaker bar with the 14mm on top, my impact, and I have an exhaust hanger tool. Now, I have left it back there, but we have a WD-40 just so that we can lubricate the bolts and get it off a bit easier. This system comes with 2 new mufflers. All the gaskets and hardware is all included. So let's get this done quickly. Catback systems for these cars are one of the simplest things to do. You'll just need your 14mm here. Oh, I've left my other tool, my breaker bar. Essentially here, I just like to break all these first. So just one twist. The other part you got to do is just back here. So the OEM bolt has like a spring joint here. It's 14 on one side, 12 on the other side. Bang, bang, done. Easy done. I usually leave the bolt in just so that it holds, especially if I'm working by myself. To make my life easier, I do have a ratchet spanner. So I did cheat a bit, but yes, have a ratchet spanner handy because I couldn't get the impact gun in there. All right, next, exhaust hanger tool. One here. Just like that. So this one is now off. And now again, if I'm working by myself, I left those bolts in and they were able to just help me hold it up there. So a little easier. There we go, so that's one. All right. I'm not going to bore you with the second one, but it's the exact same thing on the exact same side. So then we move on to the mid pipe here, or the catback, mid pipe, axle back, whatever you like to call it. There's a hanger here. Just have to pop that one out with my trusty exhaust tool. I'll maybe pop that out a bit more. Hey, get that one really in there. And then this should just drop for me. Just don't want to drop this too fast. And that's why I keep my bolt in there, so it helps me bring this one out. Usually, if you do have a hoist at home, I do recommend getting one of those additional arm assists that just hold it. Ours broke, so we just have to get another one. I hate being short. I should really lower the jack, but it's okay. Don't get my tippy toes. So these come pre-attached, but they're not clamped down all the way. I'll just take them off for now. The reason I do that is because I like to adjust them once the exhaust is fitted. So that way we have an even protrusion from all tips. So that, and fun tip, these torque down to 30 foot-pounds. So make sure to do that so you don't bend it. Oh, a bit susserino. Anyway, that's one tip done. I think I've just got to even them out, but yeah, essentially use those hangers, put them back in. The great thing about aftermarket exhaust is that you don't get that big muffler from stock and you have plenty of room to get into that. I just look like I struggled because unfair height advantage, you know. So maybe a good tip is to start from the one in here. Get that one in first, like that. Yep. Ah, yeah. Oh. Next, this centerpiece, because this has a hanger. So, similar to before, just slide her in. As you can see, I've just popped the gasket in between. Now this exhaust comes with 2 size gaskets. These smaller ones go where the tips are, and the larger ones will connect that mid pipe to the axle back. As you guys can see, I'm doing it in a very weird way. If I had a second pair of hands, we just put on the gasket with the 2 bolts together. But this is just a way for me to get it in position so I can work alone. There we go. Now, a good tip for you guys at home is I like to tighten everything after all the components are kind of attached together. That way you can make small adjustments, shifting it left and right, front and forward, and it's just a bit better. So the stock front pipe or down pipe, J pipe, whatever you'd like to call it, has this donut. We kind of just get a flathead in behind here and you kind of just pry it out like so. It's a very strong piece, so don't need to be too gentle. And essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to pop this new gasket here, put this one back on top, like that. And then the exhaust should go onto this, and we have our new bolts here. So let's do that. Now that you've seen me put that donut gasket on in conjunction with the flat gasket, we're actually not going to use MXP supplied bolts. MXP does come with a downpipe, which you can use these to attach. But if we're just going to the stock downpipe, I recommend just reusing these bad boys that we took out of the car earlier. So, and we should have a new exhaust on soon. All right, so similar to before, That one just pops into there. That's on by like literally a thread. All right, so similar to before, I know I'm working by myself, so I'll just do this, put that in to hold that exhaust up. Now I know there's no hanger gasket just yet, but at least I can hold that one because this is the one that I want to make the adjustment to. All right, so now moving back down the pipe here, you would have seen me put this bolt in first to secure it. Once again, just a gasket. Now these ones here are, again, the larger ones. So I just do that, pop that bolt through there, and we can tighten that one too. All right, perfect. So now we're gonna go tighten everything. So I usually like to start from the front of the car and work my way back. All right guys, so I've tightened everything now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna conduct a leak test, just so that we can make sure that there is no exhaust leaks in the system before I put on the tip. That way I know that there won't be any issues from the front, and tips are just tips, so we'll be able to put that on pretty easily. So we'll get that. I'm actually going to just make sure everything's super tight and we'll get that done. Yep. 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 Perfect. All right, guys, so as you can see, the tip is angled this way. So the elongated side on the top is obviously the top of the exhaust. So we're gonna try and get that nice and straight on this side of the tip. I like to position my clamp here on the side so that way I can get a tool inside of there, and that way it makes it easier for when I adjust it. So slide that one in. Now that the tips are on, I have tightened them in accordance with MXP's instructions. We're gonna torque these down to 30 foot-pounds. So we're gonna do that, get a torque wrench. Whew. All right guys, now that we're done with the tips, everything is all evened out and aligned, we're gonna get the car down and we're gonna give you a sound check. So we'll be right back in a second. So we're just waiting for the cold start to idle. So as you can hear, this is the cold start. We are finally done with that cold start. That was a long cold start. All right, let's give it a couple revs and we'll do it at a couple rev ranges. We'll go from maybe a 3,000 blip and then a 4,500, and we'll see if we can go to maybe 5,000. We'll do, just rev it for me. One more. So as you can tell, it now has a much deeper tone. It is quite bassy, which is really good for your Subis, because I know a lot of you Subi guys like deeper exhaust, but it's not overly aggressive. So we have exhaust systems from other brands that are really, really loud, but this is a really nice mild tone if you're using the car as a daily. All right. So the car does have a soft limiter there. Again, we're not going to take the car out for a drive or anything like that until the customer comes back. So we're just going to leave it here for now, wait for her to get back, and I'm sure she'll love the new exhaust. What do you guys reckon?